There are moments when the news cycle stops feeling like information and starts feeling like weather, thick, oppressive, impossible to escape. The past few weeks have been like that for anyone paying attention to Savannah Guthrie, not because of scandal but because of silence, strain, and the unmistakable weight she's been carrying on air. Viewers sensed it in the pauses between sentences, in the way her eyes lingered just a beat longer before smiling. Morning television thrives on lightness, but this was something heavier and everyone could feel it. Conversations online grew louder, speculation louder still, and empathy mixed uncomfortably with curiosity. In that atmosphere, every unscripted moment felt charged. So when a normally buoyant hour of television suddenly shifted tone, it landed hard. Not because viewers were promised revelation, but because they sensed something real was about to surface. Something human, imperfect, and long held back. A morning show moment that changed the temperature. It happened during what should have been an ordinary segment, the kind viewers half watch while refilling coffee mugs. Jenna Hager, warm, candid, and usually disarming, paused in a way that immediately signaled she was stepping off script. She didn't raise her voice or reach for drama. Instead, she spoke with a steadiness that suggested deliberation rather than impulse. She framed her words carefully, emphasizing friendship, history, and care, not secrets or spectacle. What stood out wasn't what she revealed, but how she revealed it, with visible restraint and emotional respect. She acknowledged Savannah not as a public figure, but as a friend navigating something deeply personal, while under relentless public scrutiny. The studio felt quieter, the laughter subdued. It wasn't a confession or exposé. It was an acknowledgement that behind polished professionalism, real people were absorbing real strain, and sometimes silence becomes heavier than speech. Jenna, at 44, standing at a crossroads. At 44, Jenna occupies a unique space in American media, equal parts legacy and reinvention. She carries a famous last name lightly now, having spent years reshaping public perception through humor, humility, and openness. Motherhood softened her edges, experience sharpened her instincts, and time taught her when to speak and when to protect. This stage of life has brought reflection rather than reaction. She has spoken openly about anxiety, self-doubt, and the exhaustion of being perpetually on, especially in an industry that rewards likability but rarely grants grace. That context mattered in her on-air moment. She wasn't positioning herself as a truth-teller above the fray, but as someone acknowledging the cost of visibility. Her words carried the tone of someone who knows that timing matters, that honesty without care can wound, and that friendship sometimes means absorbing criticism so another person doesn't have to. Savannah Guthrie and the discipline of composure. Savannah has always been defined by composure, not as performance, but as principle. Viewers trust her because she doesn't rush emotion, doesn't exaggerate, doesn't seek attention for its own sake. That steadiness, however, comes with a cost. Being the moral center of a broadcast, the one who asks careful questions and delivers difficult news, requires emotional regulation bordering on self-erasure. Over the years, Savannah has spoken about faith, resilience, and responsibility, but rarely about exhaustion. Lately, that effort has been visible, not breaking, but bending. Jenna's comments weren't a challenge to Savannah's strength, but a recognition of it, and perhaps an unspoken question about how long anyone can carry that weight alone. The public often mistakes calm for ease, forgetting that discipline can be as draining as chaos. Savannah's quiet endurance has never been weakness, but it has never been effortless either. Friendship. Inside a glass studio. Workplace friendships are complicated enough without cameras, ratings, and millions of viewers projecting meaning onto every interaction. Jenna and Savannah's bond grew over years of shared early mornings, green room conversations, and moments when broadcasts ended but emotions didn't. Their differences became their balance, one expansive and expressive, the other measured and grounded. Over time, trust formed not through grand gestures, but through consistency. Jenna has spoken about Savannah being steady during moments of self-doubt, while Savannah has acknowledged Jenna's emotional intuition. That history reframes the on-air moment. It wasn't a rupture, but a release of pressure that had been building quietly. Friendship doesn't mean total privacy, especially in public life, but it does demand intention. Jenna's words suggested she wasn't exposing anything Savannah hadn't lived with already. She was naming the strain without defining it, allowing space without stealing agency. The audience's hunger for meaning. In today's media environment, audiences don't just consume stories, they dissect them, assign motives and demand clarity where none exists. Jenna's moment quickly became content, clipped, shared, debated and reframed to fit countless narratives. Was it brave? Was it unnecessary? Was it supportive or self-serving? These questions say as much about viewers as they do about the people on screen. We are uncomfortable with ambiguity, especially when real emotion interrupts polished programming. But not every truth arrives neatly packaged. Sometimes it shows up as a pause, a careful sentence, or a decision to acknowledge without explaining. The hunger for behind-the-scenes access often overlooks the humanity of those involved. Jenna and Savannah are not characters in a drama. They are colleagues navigating grief, pressure, and responsibility while being watched. That context matters more than speculation ever could. Timing, trust, and the weight of now timing is everything in public life and also the most easily misunderstood. Speaking too early can feel reckless. Too late can feel evasive. Jenna's choice to speak when she did wasn't about capitalizing on attention, but about preventing isolation. Silence can sometimes amplify loneliness, especially when the world is already watching. Her words functioned less as revelation and more as reassurance, a signal that Savannah wasn't navigating this season alone, even if much remained private. Trust isn't built by saying everything, but by saying enough to affirm connection. That distinction is often lost in commentary that treats every moment as strategy. In reality, timing is often emotional, not tactical. It's about sensing when someone needs acknowledgement more than protection, and when saying something gentle is better than saying nothing at all. What gets lost between headlines? Headlines flatten complexity. They turn nuance into narrative and relationships into angles. What gets lost is the lived experience of moving through stress while maintaining professionalism. Savannah's restraint, Jenna's openness, and the space between them reflect different coping styles, not competing truths. One isn't more authentic than the other. They are simply different responses to the same pressure. The danger of overinterpretation is that it forces people into roles they didn't choose. Jenna as instigator, Savannah as subject. Neither is accurate. What actually unfolded was quieter and more human. One person naming care, another continuing to carry weight with dignity. The public rarely sees the after moments, the private check-ins, the off-camera conversations that restore balance. Those matter more than any viral clip, but they don't trend. Midlife, media, and letting go of perfection. Both women are navigating a stage of life where performance starts giving way to perspective. Midlife isn't a crisis so much as a recalibration. The pressure to be flawless, agreeable, and endlessly capable begins to crack under accumulated experience. Jenna has leaned into that shift publicly, embracing imperfection and humor. Savannah has done so more quietly, integrating depth without spectacle. Jenna's moment felt like part of that broader cultural movement, an acknowledgement that strength doesn't require silence, and that leadership can include vulnerability without surrendering authority. For women in media, this shift is especially significant. They are allowed fewer missteps and granted less rest. Naming the cost, even briefly, can be an act of solidarity rather than disruption. What remains after the segment ends, when the cameras cut and the set resets, what remains isn't controversy, but connection. Jenna's words didn't redefine Savannah's story, they underscored it. They reminded viewers that behind every composed broadcast is a person choosing steadiness again and again. The moment wasn't about truth bombs or hidden agendas. It was about acknowledging strain without exploiting it, about friendship expressed imperfectly in a public space. The real story isn't whether Jenna said too much or too little, it's whether we, as viewers, can allow complexity without demanding resolution. Savannah will continue to do her work with integrity. Jenna will continue to bring warmth and honesty to hers. And somewhere between those roles is a reminder worth holding on to. Strength looks different on different people, and sometimes the bravest thing isn't breaking down, but letting someone else say, "You don't have to carry this alone."